Peace and greetings, y'all. Welcome back to another moment in time and another episode of Dreaming with Daja. Oh my God, y'all. I encountered some ops in the dream realm last night.
I hope you find serenity. I hope you find serenity.
So, for those of y'all who are new, my name is Daja Serenity. I am a big dreamer. I dream every single night at this point, very vividly. I only share the ones that really stick out to me. And last night I had quite an incredible dream that I really wanted to share and hear y'all's interpretations for. Let me process my thoughts. So I've been wanting to become lucid again in my dreams. I haven't been lucid in a while. So I actually had been speaking that the last couple of nights. Like, I want to be lucid in my dream. I want to be aware. I actually had some questions regarding an upcoming trip that I've been asking. I didn't get answers about my trip, but I did at least become lucid, and I had this really interesting experience. So in this dream, I was in a car, and it was like I was pulling into this, like, what looked like a daycare center. And I was in the back seat. I didn't see who was driving. And in the front seat, not driving, but in the front seat, there was this young man. And this young man stays with me throughout the dream. By young, I mean, like, he looked like a teenager, maybe 16, 17 years old. And we were sitting in the car, like, I guess waiting to get into this daycare. And suddenly this woman comes up. She's carrying a baby in her hands, like a nearly toddler, like maybe a 1.5-year-old, or a 2-year-old baby. And she just comes up to the car. She got an attitude, like she's so sick and tired. She opens the car door and she just puts the baby in there, and then she closes the car door and walks away. So me and this other young man are just like, what? This teenage boy, we're just like, what? Why would she just leave her baby with us? Like, and the baby was crying a lot. He was so upset. So it seemed like the baby was crying a lot, and she was just so over it that she's just like, man, fuck this baby. So she leaves the baby in the car and she just walks off, and she's just like, she didn't say nothing, but her whole energy, her whole aura was just like, I'm over it. I don't give a fuck. So me and the teenager are looking at each other like, oh my God, she left this baby. And I pick the baby up and I hold him. At this point, I can't really see the baby. Like, I'm not really seeing what he looks like. He's just like a ball of energy, really. And he's looking like, the energy is very dark over him, and he's crying a lot, and I'm just holding him. And I'm like, maybe that's why we're at this daycare. We're supposed to be dropping him off or something, because he's not our baby. We're not supposed to take him. So then we get out. I don't even remember exactly. It's not even that we got out. It's like the car door opened again, and like the baby went with all these other kids that were going into this daycare. So I didn't really clearly see that transition, but I know that the baby was then in the daycare. And then me and the teenage boy were out of the car, and we were standing. It was kind of like a little, like, basically like a little plaza or a little outside space outside of this building that is the daycare. And at some point, as we're standing there, I finally realized, oh, this is a dream. I became lucid. And because I was lucid, I was like, maybe I wasn't supposed to put the baby into the daycare. Maybe we were supposed to take care of the baby. Because now I'm thinking, oh, it's a dream, you know, like maybe that baby had some kind of significance is basically what I was thinking. And it was really bright. Even though it's like we were outside of the daycare, but it still felt like we were inside something. Like, it didn't feel like we were actually outside in fresh air, because the lighting felt like artificial. And I looked at the teenage boy, and I don't remember him talking, but he was somehow like my companion in this dream realm. Like, he seemed like he was another real person, and like he knew what was up. So I was talking to him, and I was like, it's really bright in here, and that's bothering me. So I need to put a hood on. So suddenly I had on this huge winter jacket, black, and I put over this hood to kind of shield me a little bit from the light. And I was like, we need to be shielded from the light because this is not real light. And so then suddenly he manifested one, and he also put his hood up, and he's like, I'm ready to go. Like, again, I didn't hear him talking, but just the energy was like ready to go. And he looked a lot like me. This teenage boy looked like we could very much be related. Like we had almost the same face. And I was like, okay, I think we should go get that baby because this is actually a dream realm. And I think the baby had some kind of significance. And, you know, sometimes, y'all might have heard of this before, and I've mentioned before, like sometimes if you acknowledge a dream within a dream, the people in the dream, like they stop and they're like, you're not supposed to be acknowledging that this is a dream. There's like that weird energy. But with this teenager, he didn't give me no weird energy. He was just like, boom, like he was just there to support me, basically. Whatever I was doing, he was just right there by my side. So then we turn, and in front of the daycare, there's a group of ladies, and it's like they're looking like they're taking care of like a garden, but they're not really actually doing anything. And they have these like hoses, but they look like the one that would be on a shower. But there's not actually any water coming out of them, but they're holding these over like this garden. And so we start to walk like towards the daycare, and I'm, of course, forgetting that I'm not supposed to acknowledge the dream to other people. So I had said that to him, and I guess they overheard me because when I started walking towards them, I'm just walking normal, like, oh, hello, like thinking I'm in a regular world where you just walk past people and say, hey. But these women, like one of the women in particular, she gave me this really evil side eye. And then as I'm trying to get around them, and I saw there was a way that I could have gone further around them. I shouldn't have walked, I had to walk between two of the ladies to try to get to the daycare. And as I went to walk between them, the lady turned with the little hose thing and she sprayed me, but it wasn't water, it was air. And it made me cough. It was like, it was like something in it that made me cough. And it almost woke me up, like out of the dream. And I was like, they're trying to stop me. They're trying to stop me. So then I looked at them. So there are two ladies here. They spray me when I'm in between them. I walk to the other side of them and I turn to them and I start going, like I'm breathing whatever they put in me. I'm trying to breathe it out. And I'm just like, and I'm also feeling like I have some kind of power with this. So I'm like, I'm breathing hard and I'm looking at them like, nah, y'all not about to do that to me. And then they're looking at me like, oh my God, how does she know? Or how is she still here or whatever? And, I look at the teenager and he still was on the other side of them. Like he didn't walk between them. And I'm like, and I'm looking at him and I'm like, they're trying to stop us. They're trying to stop us. And I'm not playing with that stuff. And then I'm coughing more because I still have this stuff in my lungs. I kind of woke up. I woke up back in my bed. And then I was like, I'm about to save this fucking baby. So then I went back to sleep and went right back into the dream. I've only done this like one other time, which I mentioned in a previous Dreaming with Daja. Where and it seems like it's only possible when I'm lucid that I can go back to the same dream. Because otherwise, like, I'll just lose a dream. So I went back. I was right there in the same place. But it was like I had a redo. It was before I walked between the ladies. So I knew what was about to happen. So I walked right up to them. I grabbed the hose and I sprayed them. And again, it's not water. It's air coming out. And when I sprayed them, they dissolved. And I was like, if they're not real people, then this dissolves them. If they're not real people, then this dissolves them. So now me and the teenager's with me again. He's there. And we're still in our jackets to cover us from this lighting that's like artificial lighting. So then we go into the daycare. I open the door. And it's a whole bunch of kids in there. And it's all this chaotic energy. And I just start spraying this stuff. Because I'm like, all of the people that are not real are going to dissolve. So I sprayed it. Everyone dissolved except one little boy who was in the corner, sitting in the corner, like curled up. And I put the thing down and I was like, it's okay now, we got you. And he got up. And remember when the lady put the baby in the car, it was a smaller kid, like maybe 2 years old. But now he looked like he was maybe 4, perhaps 5 at the most. He was still pretty small, but he was more mature than what I remembered from the car. So he got up, and then he looked really happy that we got him. So now it's only the three of us, me, the teenager, and this little boy. So we come out into the plaza part, and we're looking at him, and I'm like, everything's gonna be okay. And I got a good look at this little boy. Like, I saw him in his eyes. He was also like a little light-skinned boy. Similarly, could be related to me, like had similar features to me. And I explained him the hose. I was like, I gave him the hose too. And because I was like, I might wake up. I might leave this dream. So if I leave the dream and you find yourself alone, you can use this. And if you spray it, anybody who's not real will dissolve. Anybody who's not real will disappear. You just have to use this, okay? And I was explaining to him, I was like, this is just a dream. This is just a dream. It's not really real. But I felt, what I sensed within me was that the teenager and this little boy were both like me, that they were visiting this realm, but that they were real somewhere else. That's what I was sensing. Like they weren't dream people. They were real people that I was encountering. I've never seen them before. Like I said, they did look similar to me, but it doesn't mean that they're actually people. It's not people I've ever seen, not people I've ever known before. But just to give y'all a visual, like they looked kind of similar to me, like lighter skin, black. I didn't really remember, like the little boy had short hair and he had like light colored, like a lighter brown colored hair. And the teenager, I don't really remember his hair because he mostly had the hood on the whole time. But I feel like he didn't have like a buzz cut. He had some hair. So that's all I remember about how they looked physically. But yeah, so I was explaining this to the little boy and I gave him a big hug and I was like, you're going to be okay. And he started talking and he was saying a lot, but it was like baby talk. And I was trying to listen closely to understand, to remember, because I was lucid. I knew I was in a dream, so I was trying to take it all in. And it seemed like he was explaining to me like something that had happened, but it was such baby talk that I couldn't fully understand. And then it started to sound like he was speaking another language. So I was like, I don't exactly know what this baby is saying, but he's expressing himself to me. I'm happy. He was wearing like jeans and a shirt, and as he was talking to me, he was kind of walking around in the plaza. He was walking like, and and he was, and I said, like baby talk, you know what I mean? But he was telling me or whatever. And then after he told me is when I hugged him and I explained to him the hose. And then the dream started to dissolve, and I knew it was going to dissolve, which is why I tried to tell him everything I could before it dissolved. And I just wished him well on his dream journey. So this felt really significant. This felt really significant. The part where these ladies tried to stop me, I was like, because I'm thinking dream people aren't really going to do nothing, but they really tried to stop me. And I don't know what that work was that I was doing last night. I don't know what it was, but it felt like some important work in the astral realm. So I had to make a video. I need to hear y'all's interpretations. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about this? Let's unpack it in the comments. Thank you so much for listening. Peace.
Hope you find serenity.